I'm BK Sun.
I'm Rosie.
I'm Arden.
And this is We Play Too Much. One of the biggest games on the Switch, Luigi's Mansion, launched on October 31st, and today we'll be giving our impressions on the game so far.
Hey, so I've probably just played the beginning of the game. I got, what is that thing called? The virtual boo? Something? Yeah. And the first and fifth elevator buttons. So I haven't gotten very far at all, but yeah, I'm enjoying the game. I didn't know anything at first at all because I was playing with Angie in the room, and I didn't know that you have to like shine your light on certain things. There's something that you have to shine your light on, and then something pops up, and you can. Yeah, I didn't know that because I didn't play the first or the second game. And then there's the part where you get the blue light, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you can, yeah. So it's very fun. It's funny. I find there's the part where you find Professor Egad, and he's like, "Let's get out of here," and Luigi's like, "No, my friends and family are here." It's like, you don't want to leave them here? It's very funny. I like that you basically like dragging the ghosts, and you can knock them, and yeah, it's a very fun game. It's not usually something I would play, but the animation is very good.
Yes, it is.
It's very beautiful. I enjoyed it a lot. I need to play some more. I want to get to some of the higher levels because I've seen in the trailer like there's a disco level, right? But I'm enjoying it so far, and I don't know. The game kind of creeped me out when I was younger because it was scary. Like, it's dark and scary. I don't like dark and scary games. But since like Luigi's scared too, so I guess it's kind of like, yeah. But like sometimes it's like he's like checking around and stuff, and he's getting like scared at everything. I'm like, okay, Luigi, okay, it's okay. Like every single thing. But I really like it. It's interesting. It's funny. I just like finding out. Playing a game that I haven't really played. Was the third in the series, and I haven't played, so I don't really know anything about it. So it's interesting starting from the third, and
yeah. So you're like going in blind.
Yeah, really blind because I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm still figuring out the controls sometimes, but I really like it.
So, in regard to figuring out the controls, there is an option in the settings that you can change so that you can move the flashlight at the same time as you're moving, and that might make it a little bit easier.
Oh.
Yeah, because it was kind of difficult. Well, it wasn't kind of difficult early on, but it does feel a little better when you can just move. It's not independent moving. You can move them both at the same time, your body and walk.
Yeah.
I will say this, at some points, I did that too, but in some circumstances, there will be times where you wish that you didn't have it on.
Oh, okay.
Because it can get very hard to capture ghosts to just like aim at a certain object, just because the way that it works.
All right.
Yeah, I have to get used to the flashing it, and then the turning on the vacuum, because then I always forget that I have to flash it first, and then
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that wasn't a thing in the first Luigi's Mansion.
It wasn't.
Yeah, like charging the flashlight to shine a light on like those green spots. That wasn't in the first game.
Oh, it
was on
wasn't?
the second one.
No.
Oh.
You did still have to flash the flashlight on the ghost though to shock them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because there was a part where in the beginning where you have to flash something. It was a part at the front desk where you have to flash a light on something, but it doesn't tell you like that you have to flash it. So I didn't know, obviously, because I hadn't played one of the Luigi's Mansion games before.
Yeah.
So I walked past it at first until Angie told me to go back. But yeah.
I kind of like that they do that though. Like the tutorial doesn't feel like a standard tutorial. Like they'll just like, if you turn out the hints from EGA, they'll just like leave you in that spot until you figure something out. Mm-hmm. But also, if you stay there for like a certain amount of time, then the dog shows up and tries to help you. Like he does certain things that pinpoint you to what you're supposed to actually do in that level, and I think that's really good.
Yeah, because I got lost at some point because I was trying to follow the dog, but then if I don't pay attention, sometimes he'll just go into a room and I don't know which room he went into, and like, oh god, where did he go?
No, you can do I don't even know what it's called. Like the other part of the flashlight. It shows you like his footsteps and where he goes.
Oh, what?
Oh, really? I didn't even notice
that.
Yeah.
Oh, and then there's you have to take Professor Egad back to his car, I think it was his lab or something. And he's like telling you to go back to telling you where to go. And I don't remember how I got here. He was like going into different doors. He's like, that's not where you go. I'm like, I don't know how I got here. So I'm just like, okay, I'm just going into the new door and listening to him tell me that's not how you get here. I'm like, okay, yeah. I'm enjoying it a lot so far. It's really cool.
So I'm about halfway through the game, and I'm enjoying it a lot as well. It's one of my favorite Switch games so far this year. The visuals are beautiful. The animations are amazing. It's almost like you're playing a cartoon. That's how good it looks, and it's incredible that you're playing this on the Switch. I'm loving the puzzles so far. Both the puzzles with when you're like fighting a boss ghost, but also just like the environmental puzzles. They have a lot of like clever ones, especially like when you unlock some of the abilities. Like once you started using the plunger and you could like pull some of the items.
I just got the plunger.
Yeah, so once you get the plunger and you can pull some of the items that are in the background and bash them on the floor to find secrets and stuff, is really cool. And I like just finding the gems and stuff as well. So far, there's not really a lot of negatives in the game for me, other than some. I guess it can be a little bit more difficult. I've only like lost once so far, but it's just a really fun game. I'm liking the gameplay loop a lot, and I played the original Luigi's Mansion, but I didn't finish it, and I haven't played Dark Moon at all. But it just, I don't know, it feels right. It feels like the way the original felt. And I heard that Dark Moon kind of went away from the way that you progressed, and this one is more closer to the original than Dark Moon was.
I kind of had a different take on that as I played through the game more. Cause like I do agree that Dark Moon was like very different from the original, but at the same time, I feel like the third one kind of follows suit with the second one in a way. Cause for me personally, I feel like not all the floors are connected. It's like you can't do something on one floor that interacts with another floor.
Right.
Like that was like the biggest thing for me, but at the same time, it still just like feels a lot better because it's just like one place, and then like the mechanics of the game still follow suit with like just the rest of the floors in the mansion.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people thought early on that it was going to be more like a Metroidvania where you go to other floors and you are going to collect maybe an item where you can go back to a previous floor that you're on, and that would help open up things. And I mean, it does open up some things, but it's not really interconnected. Like, you were using the elevator to get between floors. And I mean, there are actually a couple of floors in the game where you don't have to use the elevator, where it's like you go down some stairs and you're on the other floor. But I guess that's kind of a disconnect, somewhat.
I mean, overall, it's still fine because it just feels a lot smoother and just like feels like one whole story. It's just like just that hotel, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Just like a lot more interesting to like follow just the story.
And I like that the floors like have themes. It's cool that it's a hotel, so it's like broken up into different themes on the different floors. It's, I don't know, I guess it makes it feel more like a living hotel in a way.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a living hotel because nobody else is in there except for you and the ghost, and then the people that you're trying to save, but they're not really there until you actually save them. But I don't know, it's just really cool. I mean, I think it can be a little handholdy sometimes, just because EGAD, unless you turn off his notifications, EGAD is always telling you where to go. But
I'm gonna need that hand holding.
I understand, because for some people that's the best way to play. Some people like the linear progression of a game so that they know exactly where they're supposed to be going, so that they don't get lost in the game. And I mean, you can still get lost some places because there's so many rooms to go into. And I'm one of those people, I want to clear every room before I even leave the floor. And somebody that likes to know exactly where they're going is gonna like that more linear approach.
Yeah. But also, I kind of, well, for me, because I've already beaten the game entirely, it did feel very linear just going through it. Because at first, it didn't even seem like it was going to be like that. It felt like they were giving you random elevator buttons to go to a different floor. Like, it wasn't just like 1, 2, 3, 4
Right.
right off the bat. But then after you make it to whatever floor, I forget what it was, then it just goes in consecutive order.
Oh, it does?
Yeah. And I didn't really like that, but at the same time, it didn't really matter because you wouldn't even know, like, exactly if it's like 1, 2, 3, because there's like not one interconnecting staircase leading to each floor.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I've also dabbled into the multiplayer and I actually enjoy it. We all play the local multiplayer, and I like two of them. I like the one where you have to shoot the cannons through the goals in the background, and I liked the one where you have to bash the ghost and catch more than the other team. The water one, I'm not a big fan.
Oh yeah, the coin.
I mean, it's fun, but I don't know. The controls just don't feel as intuitive as the controls everywhere else in the game so far. And maybe I just need to put a little bit more time into it, but that's how it felt my few times playing that level. And then I played the online multiplayer, which is actually pretty smooth, shockingly. It's not like laggy or anything, so it's been pretty fun the few times I played that as well. The only issue I have with that is the issue that you have with the Switch period when it comes to more online games, is the fact that there's voice chat, but it's through the app, and nobody's gonna really use the app. And in a way, you really need voice chat in that, because when you get stuck in a rug or behind a door, unless your teammates are really paying attention, you're gonna be stuck there for a long time. And a couple of times I ended up losing on a level because I was stuck behind a door, stuck in a rug for like an inordinate amount of time, and it was kind of frustrating. But it's fun, and if you have a good team with you, and especially if you had voice chat, could have been even better. But in regard to online, I wish that they had online co-op. I know you can do co-op in local, but you should also be able to play online co-op.
I'm surprised they don't have that, actually. I didn't think that they wouldn't add that.
They should have. I don't understand why they didn't. I think it would have been a good addition. But I'm really enjoying the game. It's really high quality so far. And I mean, it's not going to... Unless, like, the back half is amazing, which I hear that sadly tails off a little. But who knows? That might not be how I feel when I finish it. It's not going to pass Fire Emblem. It's probably not going to pass Link's Awakening, but it's definitely worth the purchase so far from what I've played.
So, from my experience, I feel like third is definitely better than the second one, but I still think that the first one is like much better than the other two. Because it's just, I really just like the whole one mansion feel. Like, it had floors that go to, well, stairs that go to the other floors, and then like it wasn't just all supposed to be like you go on the basement floor and then you complete everything there, then you go to the next one. I kind of like that. It was just like you find a key to a door that's on a random floor, and then you go to that, and you can go to the next one after you complete whatever you're doing there. Like, I feel like it strayed away from that approach, and I don't think that they should have, mainly because it just feels way too linear playing the game. I think there should be like way more diversity in just like the story, because it just feels like very separate. Like, it just feels isolated being on one floor, then like you complete whatever you're doing there, and then once you go to the next, you completely figure out what the other one was. Like, it just doesn't feel very interactive, I guess. Like, you can interact with like a lot of the things in the background, like getting all the gold, but even then it's like you don't really do much with it. You can get tips for where the boosts are and where the gems are, and you also have one that gives you extra lives, but that's kind of it. And there's like so much gold that you get that you don't even use. I don't really understand why it's like that. But I mean, overall, it's still like Obviously, it's still a good game, but I think it could have been like way better. I was just expecting like a lot more.
Cool.
And also, I was very disappointed that there weren't like actual power ups in the game. Like it's just all from the poltergeist itself. Like there's no like elemental power ups like the first one had with like the fire and the ice.
Right.
Yeah, I was kind of disappointed that they removed that, but for me, it's just like adding Luigi made it like way better because it feels like you're playing with two people, but you have like way more control over the environment of the game when playing with two people. Like they just add like so much more to fighting ghosts and like exploring the environment.
I kind of forgot about the elemental powers in the original, and I guess that's because it was just so long ago. And the original the original kind of is like this one, and just that the fact that visually, when the original came out, the original was so far ahead of a lot of the GameCube games that were out at that point. And I think that this is also in that same tier visually. That's something I did leave out. Luigi. Luigi is an excellent addition. I love the things that he can do. It's like being able to phase through
the grates, like
the grates, and just like spikes and everything is cool. His weakness to water. Sometimes I remember when I got him early on and I wasn't even paying attention. I just walked into a puddle by mistake and he just basically evaporated. And there was like a bathroom on the next floor that the water got on him and he evaporated. But I think that he adds a lot to the puzzles in the game.
I haven't gotten him yet.
Oh, wow.
Anything else?
We can talk more about Luigi. Because I feel like he's just like the best addition to the game. Like, him and the dog kind of just like make the whole experience like a lot better.
I love the dog.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it just feels like, even though it's supposed to be kind of scary, it just like feels really wholesome, just like having them in. Because like, the dog is adorable, and Luigi is also like really just a fun character to play around with. Like, he can even do the Mario taunts too. I think that's really cool.
The game is just really charming. Like, it is really charming and fun. And yeah, it's supposed to be a horror themed game, but it's the charm that really draws you into it. And Luigi again is a very fun character. I love Polterpup as well, and I love Luigi. Luigi is a scaredy cat, but he's gonna make sure that he saves his friends and family. And it does get frustrating that he's afraid of everything, and then bumping up into everything scares him. But I'm enjoying it. I've always loved the Mario button since the first one. Just walking around the hotel, the mansion. Well, it's actually a hotel.
Yeah.
Screaming Mario out. It has always been funny to me since day one, since the original. And I don't know. I'm just really enjoying the game. I understand that Arden doesn't enjoy it on the level that I'm enjoying it so far, but also he's put more time into Luigi's Mansion, period, than I have, since he's beaten... You beat both of them. So, all of them, right?
I haven't beaten Dark Moon.
Oh, you haven't beaten Dark Moon, but you did beat the original. I never beat the original.
Not Dark Moon, no, I haven't beaten.
But it's been a fun experience so far, and I think that for me, it's actually exceeded my expectations. Because I guess that's because I didn't beat the original, so I don't think as highly of the original. I thought it was a fun game, but I never completed it, so I never got to see the full extent of that game.
You know, it's funny that you mentioned that too, because I was looking through like comments of like the trailer and like gameplay, and I saw a lot of people saying that they really enjoyed Dark Moon, which is something that I didn't see a lot, and they were also saying that they didn't enjoy the first one as much, which was very surprising.
I saw the opposite.
Yeah. I think it's just like very specific people, like audiences that enjoy just like the separated mechanics, I guess, versus like the whole one big thing that can be very confusing just when you're playing it, like whenever you're younger or something like that.
Right.
Yeah. I was just surprised just to see like the different opinions, I guess.
Well, you're gonna find out with any game, because this game, reviewed well, and there's probably gonna be a lot of people that love it, and then like in a month you're gonna hear people talking about how it wasn't as good as people made it out to be. But other people are gonna say that it was a top tier game, so you never know.
Yeah.
But again, it's been really enjoyable for me so far. I actually want more. I'm only halfway through. I'm like, geez, it's gonna end probably in like 5 hours, and then what am I gonna do? Because I really, the environment is just really cool, and I understand that you're getting all this gold that you're really not using, but for some reason, just going into every room and trying to vacuum every nook and cranny, you get everything in the room is really addictive for some reason. Even though I know at the end I'm going to be left with all of this gold that I'm not going to be able to use all of it.
I mean, the first one also had that kind of system, but it just went towards like the end game ranking, basically. And while I was playing it too, I was equating it to New Super Mario Bros. 2, which had that whole collecting coins was like your main goal. Like coins were literally everywhere. That's basically in Luigi's Mansion 3. And just like collecting all of it just feels very satisfying. Like there's literally dollars and coins everywhere. Like no matter what you do, you're just gonna find something.
Luigi's a thief though, because where's all this gold coming from? These are people's hotel rooms. What's he doing?
It's fun.
It is really fun.
I like doing that.
Oh, that was another thing. Like, the main ghosts in this game were very, I want to say uninteresting, because like their designs are interesting, but it felt more interesting to fight the ghosts from the first one because they're actually a family. Like none of the ghosts are related as far as I know, but just like having that sort of knowledge of like them being an actual family that were in that house before just added so much more to the game for me.
Well, the main ghost, though, being a Boo fangirl is kind of funny.
That is kind of funny.
Yeah. But she's kind of weird, though.
Well, I have to finish the game.
Yes, you should.
I am going to finish it soon. Hopefully by this weekend, especially since Pokemon comes out next week.
Oh, I can't believe Pokemon comes out next week.
Crazy. Anyway.
Oh, the best part of the game is still when Toad is driving the bus in the beginning.
The best part of the game is when you get Toad and you can just shoot him around the place.
Oh, I can't wait to get to that part.
And he's so happy with you shooting him around.
Why are you enjoying it so much?
Because Toad is a weirdo.
I love Toad so much. Oh my god.
What do you think about Luigi's Mansion 3? Obviously, you all have enjoyed it. Comment down below about your favorite parts of the game and things that you may dislike about the game as well.
Give the video a like if you enjoyed what we had to say. Share the video.
And if you would like more content like this, please subscribe and ring that notification bell. Follow us on our socials. That'll be down low in the description. This is We Play Too Much, and we're out.